Hello, I'm Adriana with Chiro Matchmakers. I'm so excited to be with you today to bring you our pro tip series on how to find the right chiropractic assistant for the right job. Maybe you already have one CA in your practice, maybe you have multiple CAs. Perhaps you're getting ready to make your very first hire. Stay tuned to our pro tip series. I will be helping you discover how to know if you're ready to hire your next CA. I will also help you know if you have the right people in the right roles right now. I will help you discover who you need to hire next and how to read your team's mind, how to get great candidates, and how to interview those great candidates. As an expert recruiter, I cannot tell you enough how important it is to build your team the right way with the right people. I will be hosting a webinar at the end of the month, and I will take a deep dive at the key components of how to hire your ideal CA. If you would like to sign up for the webinar, there is a link down below for you to register. So let's get started with pro tip number 1. How do I know if I'm ready to hire my next CA? I have a simple set of questions that can help you answer just that. Number 1, is your team overwhelmed right now? How does this manifest? Well, are your CAs complaining about how busy they are and they don't have enough time to get tasks done? Are they running around like chickens with their heads cut off? Is your team exhausted? Take a minute and ask yourselves that. Question number 2 is your team underproducing? Sadly, I hear this from many of our clients, and this could be happening to you as well. Are your new patients not getting those confirmation calls and they miss their appointments? When your team gets too busy, the first thing that stops getting done is promotion. There are no more referrals. If your team cannot handle the workload, they're not going to refer. They're not going to attract new patients. They're actually going to repel those new patients because new patients create more work for them. You will be leaving a lot of money on the table because of your team's underperformance. Now, the next question that you should ask yourselves is, are you running behind schedule? Are you day in and day out just staying longer and longer and leaving the office later and later because you're getting so behind in your patient appointments? If your patients are waiting too long to be seen, they may complain about it. You're gonna get those dirty looks. Now, the next question is, are tasks being left undone? Again, are the confirmation calls not happening? Are the missed appointments not being followed up on? Is your billing being submitted on time and properly? Are your stats getting done? Remember, we cannot grow something that we do not measure. The next question would be, are you overexposed? What would happen if one of your CAs quits right now? Will you be scrambling to find someone right away? Is this person leaving you going to hurt your growth and your momentum? How many of you have been approached by a CA that says, hey doc, can we sit down and have a conversation? Oh my goodness, that dreading feeling. And it usually goes one of two ways. They either tell you, I hate this place, I can't take it anymore, I'm quitting, I'm so upset, right? Or they tell you, I have the best news ever. I am pregnant. And you're like, oh, that is the greatest news ever. But inside you're crying because you know that your rockstar CA might be leaving you soon, right? Perhaps you have a staph infection. Now, what is a staph infection? Well, that is when a team member is negative, they're having a bad influence on the rest of the team, they're not following your leadership, they're not following your guidance and your systems, and that is causing an infection in the rest of your team. Now, if you have a staph infection, maybe your team either has an attitude problem or their heart is just not in it. Now, the very last question to figure out if you need to hire a CA right now is something that I get approached with all the time. And our clients come to us and they want a simple math equation. How do I know revenue-wise when I am ready to make a hire? Obviously, offices are different. There's a lot of layers of complexity within every single office. So this may not apply to everybody that is listening right now, but we do have a general rule of thumb that we use. And that is that for every $17,000 to $20,000 in revenue, you should have a CA. So if you're growing, if your collections are increasing, and you are at that point, you may need to hire your next CA. If you have answered yes to my team is overwhelmed, they are underproducing, we are running behind schedule, the tasks are not getting done, is your team overexposed, or you have a staff infection, then it is time for you to start planning your next CA hire. So stay tuned for my next pro tip on how to know if you have the right people in the right roles. Now, if you need help right now and you cannot wait for our webinar at the end of the month, there's also a link down below for you to schedule a brainstorming session with me. I can walk you through the best approach to find out if you're ready to hire. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time.